Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtaki. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Caitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Scha. Hey Krishna
Karuna Chandra Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopika Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishnu Sute Devi Pramani Hari Priye
Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shashunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Manchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo
Namo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Saraswati Gaura Bhakta Varunda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we continue reading with Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 3, Chapter 6, Text 19. Are you all able to see the screen?
Yes. No, we can't see the text, but just the prayers.
Oh, okay. Now it's okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Nedram tasya minirbhinnam swadhishnayam ka upavishad reta samshena yena sav anandam pratipadyate. When the genitals of the gigantic form separately became manifest, then Prajapati, the original living creature, entered into them with his partial semen, and thus the living entities can enjoy sex pleasure. So we are seeing how each and every part of the universal form is being created, and how that's the reason we can have all these functions. So text 20, Gudam pumso vinirbhinnam mitro lokesha avishat payun nam shena yena so visargam pratipadyate. The evacuating channel separately became manifest, and the director named Mitra entered into it with partial organs of evacuation. Thus, the living entities are able to pass stool and urine. Did we ever think? We think we can do it by ourselves. But everything is under the control of the demigods. Hastav asya vinirbhinnav indraswar patir avishat vartayam shena purusho yayav vrittim prapadyate. Thereafter, when the hands of the gigantic form separately became manifested, Indra, the ruler of the heavenly planets, entered into them, and thus the living entity is able to transact business for his livelihood. So each and everything we are seeing how we are controlled for them. Each and every action of ours. Padav asya vinirbhinno lokesho vishnur avishat gatya swamshena purusho yaya prapyam prapadyate. Thereafter, the legs of the gigantic form separately became manifest, and the demigod named Vishnu, not the personality of Godhead, entered with partial movement. This helps the living entity move to his destination. So we think we can walk anywhere we like without being controlled. Even our walking is controlled, our moving hands, our evacuating, our sex, our seeing, our eating, our speaking. Buddhim chasya vinirbinnam vag ishodhishnayam avisad bodhe nam shena bodhavyam pratipatir yato bhavet. When the intelligence of the gigantic form separately became manifest, Brahma, the Lord of the Vedas, entered into it with the partial power of understanding, and thus an object of understanding is experienced by the living entities. So we have this intelligence is because the intelligence is also there in the universal form and is controlled by Brahma. Hridayam chasya nirbhinnam chandrama dishnyam avishat manam shena yena so vikiryam pratipadyate. We think we are so intelligent, but Krishna is the one who's giving us this intelligence, you know. After that, the heart of the gigantic form separately manifested itself, and into it entered the moon demigod with partial mental activity. Thus, the living entity can conduct his mental speculations. So even our thinking, we say, I can think whatever I like. But that is controlled. 26. Atmanam chasya nirbhinnam abhimano avishatpadam karmanam shena yena so kartavyam pratipadyate. Thereafter, the materialistic ego of the gigantic form separately manifested itself, and into it entered Rudra, the controller of false ego, with his own partial activities by which the living entity transacts his objective actions. The false ego of materialistic identity is controlled by the demigod Rudra, an incarnation of Lord Shiva. Rudra is the incarnation of the Supreme Lord who controls the mode of ignorance within material nature. The activities of the false ego are based on the objective of the body and mind. Most persons conducted by false ego are controlled by Lord Shiva. When one reaches a finer version of ignorance, he falsely thinks of himself as the Supreme Lord. That egoistic conviction of the conditioned soul is the last snare of the illusory energy, which controls the entire material world. So Rudra, who is an expansion, an incarnation of Lord Shiva, is in charge of the false ego. And false ego is a sign of ignorance. Yeah. So what is the false ego? That I'm the body, I'm the mind. And so I want to make it as comfortable as possible. So this false ego is controlled by Lord Shiva, who, Lord Shiva is, of course everyone comes from the Lord, from Krishna, but Lord Shiva is an incarnation of Krishna. You know, we'll read it ahead, that how Krishna expands himself as Lord Shiva, just as yogurt is made from milk. So Lord Shiva is his own tattva, Shiva tattva. So Lord Vishnu transforms himself into Lord Shiva, but so as milk can be transformed into yogurt at any time, but yogurt can never become milk again. So Lord Shiva can never become Vishnu again. He's not Vishnu Tattva. He's Shiva Tattva. He's not like the other incarnations of Krishna, like Lord Nishingadev or Lord Ramachandra. Although he's an expansion of the Lord, but Shiva cannot, he's not Vishnu Tattva. He's not God. But He's in charge of our false ego. And what's the last snare of Maya? I am God. Right now I have forgotten I'm God, but after I give up this body, I will remember I am God and I will become God. That, and we can see many people have that philosophy. Many people follow and believe in that. But that is also Maya. No one can become God. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So any questions or comments or anything to share till now what we have read? Well, how does it make us feel? Knowing that, wow, all these bodily movements are controlled, you know? Would anybody like to share anything? Express anything? Because we do the things so automatically. We speak automatically. That speech is also controlled. We eat, we're saying, I can eat. The eating is also controlled. Everything's controlled. So, anyway. Nothing, then we'll continue reading. Sattvam chasya vinirbinnam mahan deshnyam upavishad chitte namshena yena sa vijnanam pratipadyate. Thereafter, when his consciousness separately manifested itself, the total energy, Mahatattva, entered with his conscious part. Thus, the living entity is able to conceive specific knowledge. So in the Virat Roop also, the consciousness is manifested, and that's the reason we are able to have, we are able to understand things, able to be conscious of things. Because the Lord is supremely conscious. That's the reason we are also conscious. So if somebody says, no, Krishna is just light, but he has consciousness, he has eyes, ears, legs, everything. You know, how can we have something which God doesn't have? That does it mean that we are greater than God? No, right? God means somebody who's the greatest. No one is greater than him. So he has a form, he has a transcendental form. So, Shirshno
Hare
as.
Krishna. Hare Krishna, Bhavi, what was the question before?
Which question?
You asked, just now you asked, na?
Oh, that how can God not have a form? We are also having a form. So how can we have something more than God?
No, we cannot.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we have a
form. Most often we have the false ego. Before action, we don't know today what will happen. Next moment, what we will speak. And in same house, same family member, same everything. What will be the picture today? Maybe pleasant, maybe unpleasant, maybe situation. And same day we are cooking, we don't know the taste. Same ingredients, but every time taste is different. But after the result, we take the credit. We did, I did. But before that, we don't know. That is our false ego, isn't it, Bhavi?
Yes, it is. It's true. It's true. Thank you. Yeah. Reading on, text 27. Srishno asya dayurdhara padhyam khamnabir udapadyata gunanam vrittayo yeshu pratiyante suradayaha. Thereafter, from the head of the gigantic fork, the heavenly planets were manifested, and from his legs, the earthly planets, and from his abdomen, the sky separately manifested themselves. Within them, the demigods and others were also manifested in terms of the modes of material nature. So everything is there in the form of the Lord, the heavenly planets, the earthly planets, the demigods, the sky, the modes of material nature, Everything belongs to Krishna. There is nothing which does not belong to Krishna. And we think everything belongs to us, but actually nothing belongs to us, you know. Because we think, oh, I'm the controller, I can do anything. Nothing belongs to us. Atyantikena satvena divam devam prapedire dharam rajasvabhavena panayo yecha tan anu. The demigods, qualified by the super excellent quality of the mode of goodness, are situated in the heavenly planets, whereas the human beings, because of their nature in the mode of passion, live on the earth in company with their subordinates. So in Bhagavad Gita 14, chapter 14, text 14 and 15, it is said that those who are highly developed in the mode of goodness are promoted to the higher heavenly planetary systems, and those who are overpowered by the mode of passion are situated in the middle planetary systems, the earth and similar planets. But those who are surcharged with the mode of ignorance are degraded to the lower planetary systems or to the animal kingdom. The demigods are highly developed in the mode of goodness, and thus they are situated in the heavenly planets. Below human beings are the animals, although some of them mingle with human society. Cows, horses, dogs, etc. are habituated to living under the protection of human beings. So we can see that depend on what mode we are in, that will be our next destination. Those who are in the mode of goodness are to be in an atmosphere in which they can be peaceful and happy, you know. So that is not available on this earth. That's available in the heavenly planet. So they go there. And then on this earth is what? Activity, lot of passion. Everyone wants to do a lot of things. Let's get some goals. What is our goal today? Short-term goal, long-term goal, desires. All that is here on the earthly planets, in the human beings. And then what happens in ignorance? Ignorance, we go down either to the lower planetary systems or we are born as animals on the earthly planetary systems. So the word atyantikena is very significant in this verse. By development of the mode of goodness of material nature, one can become situated in the heavenly planets. But by excessive development of the modes of passion and ignorance, the human being indulges in killing the animals who are meant to be protected by mankind. Persons who indulge in unnecessary animal killing have excessively developed in the modes of passion and ignorance and have no hope of advancing to the mode of goodness. They are destined to be degraded to lower statuses of life. The planetary systems are calculated as upper and lower in terms of the classes of living entities who live there. So like, are we upper class or lower class, you know? So the demigods, because they have finer, they have finer qualities, they have divine qualities. That's why then they are in the higher planetary systems. But what happens when we are in a mode of passion, a lot of passion, it's easily to be degraded to the mode of ignorance. It's very easy. And then in that ignorance, then we are killing animals. We are not protecting them. We are supposed to be protecting. Human beings have the greatest responsibility because we are intelligent. We are supposed to be protecting all the other species. Like a stronger brother is supposed to take care of the weaker brother. No? But here, instead of taking care, we are in fact killing them. And so what Bhagavatam is saying, that if we are doing that, then we will be destined to lower status of life, lower status. So what shall we do? Wherever we are, we should just start chanting Hare Krishna. Give up those give up the four activities which are against the religious principles mentioned in the Vedas. No meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, and no intoxication. Those are what Dharma is standing on. And start chanting Hare Krishna. Hear and read Srimad Bhagavatam. Then we can rise above the modes. Gradually, we can even rise above the mode of goodness. And then, like that, we don't need to come back to the material world, but we can transcend the modes and enter into the spiritual sky in the Vaikuntha world. And if we have the desire, we can go to the highest planet in the Vaikuntha, the Golok Vrindavan. So, Tarti Yena Svabhavena Bhagavana Bhim Ashritaha Ubayor Antaram Vyoma Ye Rudra Parshadam Ganaha. Living entities who are associates of Rudra develop in the third mode of material nature or ignorance. They are situated in the sky between the earthly planets and the heavenly planets. The middle portion of the sky is called Bhuvarloka, as confirmed by both Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti and Srila Jiva Goswami. In Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that those who develop in the mode of passion are situated in the middle region. Those who are situated in the mode of goodness are promoted to the regions of the demigods. Those who are situated in the mode of passion are placed in human society, and those who are situated in the mode of ignorance are placed in the society of animals or ghosts. There are no contradictions in this conclusion. Numerous living entities are distributed all over the universe in different planets and are so situated in terms of their own qualities in the modes of material nature. So what happens if we just heard earlier that in the mode of ignorance we become animals, but we may also become ghosts, depending on what is our nature. It just depends on our own nature. Based on that, Mother material nature gives us a body and a place to live in. You know, like if the demigods, they wouldn't be able to live on the earthly planet now. Before, demigods used to visit the earthly planet. But in Kali Yuga, they don't want to visit earthly planet also, because it's like beyond their, you know how the upper class, lower class. But in spite of all the faults of Kali Yuga, there is one great asset here. Sneha, would you like to share what is that? Are you available?
Yeah. So by chanting, by taking shelter to God.
Yeah. That's what the demigods have been waiting in line to take the material.
By chanting, Hare Krishna, and we can go. That's why they say, that Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadi Adi Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam.
Yeah. Thank you. And also the Bhagavatam verse, which you like to recite. Kalir doshe nije rajan.
Kalir doshe nije rajan, asti haiko mahan guna. Kirtanad eva Krishnasya, mukta sangha param vrajit.
And that this ocean, this material world is an ocean of faults. But there is only one good
one,
the chanting of the holy name. Thank you. So we continue. Mukhato avartata brahma purushasya kurudvaha yas tunmukhatvad varnanam mukhyo abud brahmano guruhu. O chief of the Kuru dynasty, the Vedic wisdom became manifested from the mouth of the Virat, the gigantic form. Those who are inclined to this Vedic knowledge are called Brahmanas. And they are the natural teachers and spiritual masters of all the orders of society. So this is the duty of a Brahmana, to teach about the Vedic knowledge to everyone. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 4.13, the 4 orders of human society developed with the order of the body of the gigantic form. The bodily divisions are the mouth, arms, waist, and legs. So the gigantic form of the Lord, the Virat Rupa, Krishna wanted, he divided the society into 4 parts for the peaceful and co-dependence, cohabitation of all the human beings. So the bodily divisions are mouth, arms, waist, and legs. Those who are situated on the mouth are called Brahmanas. Those who are situated on the arms are called Kshatriyas. Those who are situated on the waist are called Vaishyas. And those who are situated on the legs are called Shudras. Everyone is situated in the body of the Supreme, in his gigantic Vishwarupa form. In terms of the 4 orders, there is therefore no caste is to be considered degraded because of being situated on a particular part of the body. So we cannot say, oh, that only Brahmanas are the ones that should to be respected and nobody else should be respected because they are the mouth of the Lord, and that the Shudra should not be respected. No, each of us belong to Krishna. Each of us. So we need to respect everyone. That's the teaching of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi saisnana amanena manadena kirtanya sadahari. We need to respect each and every living entity, not only human beings. We should also respect the animals, the ants, the demigods, everyone. In our own bodies, we do not show any actual difference in our treatment towards the hands or legs. Each and every part of the body is important, although the mouth is the most important of the bodily parts. If other parts are cut off from the body, a man can continue his life, but if the mouth is cut off, one cannot live. Therefore, this most important part of the body of the Lord is called the sitting place of the Brahmanas, who are inclined to the Vedic wisdom. One who is not inclined to the Vedic wisdom, but to mundane affairs, cannot be called a Brahmana, even if he is born of a Brahmana family or father. To have a Brahmana father does not qualify one as a Brahmana. The main qualification of a Brahmana is to be inclined to the Vedic wisdom. So just as the son of a doctor does not automatically become a doctor, we don't go to him to treat us if he has not studied in the medical school, gotten a medical degree, trained under a medical practitioner. No. Similarly, it's not that, oh, just because I'm born in the family of a Brahmana, I become a Brahmana, even though my activities are totally not Brahmanical. It's based on our qualities, not on birth. So the Vedas are situated on the mouth of the Lord, and therefore anyone who's inclined to the Vedic wisdom is certainly situated on the mouth of the Lord, and he is a Brahmana. This inclination towards Vedic system, Vedic wisdom, is not restricted to any particular caste or community. Anyone from any family and from any part of the world may become inclined to the Vedic wisdom, and that will qualify him as a real Brahmana. So it's not restricted that if you're born in a particular family, in a particular part of the world. No, anyone can be a Brahmana. A real Brahmana is the natural teacher or spiritual master. Unless one has Vedic knowledge, one cannot become a spiritual master. So, what is a Brahmana? A Brahmana, he teaches. He's a spiritual master is always a Brahmana. A Brahmana may not be a spiritual master. You know, for a spiritual master, he's automatically a Brahmana. And what does he know? He knows Vedic knowledge. He knows the Vedic knowledge. And what's the perfection of the Vedic knowledge? It is to know the Lord, the personality of Godhead. And that is the end of Vedic knowledge, or Vedanta. Vedanta means, Ved means knowledge, Anta means end. So what's the end of knowledge? That there is nothing more to know. That is to know the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who is situated in the impersonal Brahman has no information of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, may become a Brahmana, but he cannot become a spiritual master. So now the impersonalist, the Brahmavadi, cannot become a spiritual master. Even though he is a Brahmana, he knows, he understands Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, and that God is Brahman, I am Brahman. Even though he has that knowledge, he's a Brahmana, but he cannot become a guru. It is said, Guru, spiritual master means guru. It is said in the Padma Purana, Sat Karma Nipuno Vipro Mantra Tantra Visharadaha Avaishnava Gurur Nashyad Vaishnava Swapacho Guruhu. So what does Padma Puran say? So Padma Puran says an impersonalist can become a qualified Brahmana, but he cannot become a spiritual master unless and until he is promoted to the stage of a Vaishnava or a devotee of the personality of Godhead. So here is mentioned, Padma Puran is one of the Purans, and it says that not everyone can become a guru. A guru is only if he's a Vaishnava. Vaishnava means a devotee of the personality of Godhead. So a lot, we see there are so many gurus, self-made gurus, but we should not get into their talks and sweet word jugglery. We should refer always to the Vedas, who's the authority. Lord Caitanya, the great authority of Vedic wisdom in the modern age, stated, Kiba Vipra Kiba Nyasi Shudra Kene Naya Ye Krishna Tattva Veta Se Guru Haya. A person may be a Brahmana or a Shudra or a sannyasi, but if he happens to be well versed in the science of Krishna, then he is fit to become a spiritual master. Caitanya Caritamrta Madhya 8.128. The qualification then of a spiritual master is not to be a qualified Brahmana, but to be well versed in the science of Krishna. So if somebody knows well the science of Krishna, he could be born in any part of the world, in any gender. He could be a Brahmana or a Shudra or a sannyasi, anyone, a householder, even householder. As long as he knows the science of Krishna, he is fit to become a spiritual master, a guru. That's what is a qualification of a guru. One who is conversant with Vedic wisdom is a Brahmana, and only a Brahmana who is a pure Vaishnava and knows all the intricacies of the science of Krishna can become a spiritual master. So Brahmanas, what do the Brahmanas know? They know, they are situated, they know about Brahman platform, the Brahma Jyoti, that everything is Brahman. Yeah, Aham Brahmasmi, Lord is Brahman. Okay, that's, they have, means they have the knowledge of the Vedas, but to become a spiritual master, one needs to be a devotee of the Lord. Why? Why is this so important? Why is it so important that a guru is only one who knows the science of Krishna? Even a Brahmana who does not know the science of Krishna means a person who knows the Brahman but who does not know Krishna. Why is he not qualified to be a guru? The reason is because he is not capable of taking us out of this material world. Because we, the souls, our true home is in the spiritual world and we need to go there. So even if somebody is a Brahmana, he will take us up to only the Brahma Jyoti. But our situation in the Brahma Jyoti is temporary. It may be for a very long time. It may be for millions of years, but it is still temporary. So we will come back again to the material world, even after millions and millions of years. But it's only a Vaishnava who can take us back home, back to Godhead, never to return back to the material world. Be situated in our own original spiritual identity, who we truly are, engage in our activities, which is our natural duty. Each of us have a spiritual form. Each of us have a spiritual duty in the spiritual world. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll stop here for today. Sorry, we went a bit over time. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.